Let's get something straight here. There isn't anything wrong with the business card. It's more the fact that us as photographers and us in society and technology has actually really evolved. Business cards are pretty simple and effective. We've been using them as photographers for many, many years, and they help us distribute information about ourselves when we go into business meetings or when we're talking to people that we want to collaborate with, etc. And for the most part, a lot of photographers, they use a company called Moo when it comes to creating their business cards. I, for example, have 5 different cards that I use. They all have the same information on the back, though, but the different photos kind of appeal to different types of people that I'm meeting with. Maybe it's a street photographer, maybe it's someone that likes wildlife, maybe it's someone that likes portraits. And what we often try to do as photographers is we try to update what they look like over and over again to show off our new and different types of work. But for the most part, the business card hasn't really evolved. Sometimes you get different shapes, different paper styles. That's really about it. But then a while ago, Moo introduced a brand new type of business card. It's a business card with NFC built in. So NFC means near field communication, and basically what that means is when you bring the business card up to an Android phone or a Windows phone, information on a microchip that's inside of these business cards gets immediately transmitted to that phone, which means that then the person doesn't have to sit there, look at the business card, try to find a way to actually input that information into a database that they have. So how do these work? Basically, you just take one of these business cards that you have here. They have the NFC chip embedded inside. Basically, you turn the phone on, I unlock the sensor, and I'm going to get out of Chrome. Then I take the business card, and I kind of put it over there, and then my information kind of pops up. It works out pretty well. It's pretty simple. The major limitation here, though, is that these NFC cards only really work with Android devices and only really work with Windows Phone devices. I don't know any photographers that actually have Windows phones personally, but last night I had a bunch of people over and a bunch of them actually had Android phones. Most of us, though, have iPhones. If you go into any meeting or any networking meetup with photographers, everyone has an Apple device, and maybe that'll change, maybe it won't. If it changes, though, these NFC business cards will actually become a lot more popular. It doesn't hurt to have 1 or 2 of them in your card case. I usually keep a card case like this on me, and then I pop it open, and my business cards are right here. But then one of these NFC cards I keep in the back, stored away, and I look and ask whoever I'm giving a card to what kind of phone they have. And if they have an Android phone or a Windows device, even though I highly doubt those people exist. And if you have one of those devices, then you take that card out, you hold it up, and you get the information. That's providing that their phone has NFC, though. Not all Android phones have NFC, depending on the year they're made, the brand, the manufacturer, all that stuff. I think this is a really, really cool idea. It's more or less the future. It'd be cool if I could take my iPhone and put it up to an Android phone, and those informations that I may have or another photographer may have will easily be swapped, but things aren't really like that. So instead, you actually have to give a properly made business card. You have to sit there, you have to spend money on them. I mean, it's a worthwhile investment, to be honest with you. A lot of photographers sit here and they say, hey, this actually makes a lot of sense. I need to be able to find a way to give people an easy way to be able to contact me. So when they go to their desk, they can pull up the card and they see, oh, hey, this is Chris Gampett's email address, this is his phone number. It just works out pretty well. And for the most part, it's been the standard for business for many years. To create one of these cards, you simply log on to Moo's website, sign into your account, and then you go to the NFC card creation area. And what it'll do is it will allow you to use one of their many popular patterns or designs. There are a bunch of great ones for photographers. And what you do is you put some information on the front and the back of the card, and then you tell it what you want the NFC chip to do. You can tell it to do stuff like go to a social media page, go to a website, or even transmit some of the information that's on your business card over to the person. One of the more difficult things about NFC technology is that every phone has the NFC chip and area in a different spot. So sometimes you're literally just sitting there going like this, trying to find the information, trying to figure out what you're supposed to do. There you go, and finally I got it. But on a Samsung device, it might be in a different spot. On a Google device, it was right around here where the fingerprint reader is. For an HTC device, it might be in a different spot. Or for a Huawei device, it might be in a different spot. So literally, you're just sitting there going like this the entire time. What would be a hell of a lot easier is if you just went like that, and you knew exactly where to put it, and it read the NFC data, and it just brought it up. But unfortunately, that doesn't really happen at the moment. Don't get me wrong, Moo's NFC cards are actually pretty cool. They're a step ahead, and they're kind of innovation in a way for business cards. Moo started the innovation with business cards when they started to create those little square rectangular cards that you see. And it was much different than everyone else's because business cards overall were kind of designed to go fit into your wallet or fit in your pocket really easily, and sometimes you'd sit there going through and you'd be like, hey, I don't know which business card I'm working with. But when you saw those little tiny rectangle cards, you knew exactly who it was because it stood out amongst everyone else's. And then you had different designs, and those stood out amongst everyone else's. But now you have an NFC business card, and now that information is going directly into someone's phone, which then syncs up to a database. And that is pretty innovative overall. At least it's the most innovative thing to business cards to come in a while.